So you've decided to take the plunge into motorcycling for the first time. That is awesome, my dude or dudette. Motorcycling is the greatest hobby slash lifestyle slash drug addiction you'll ever have. You can meet a bunch of new people, explore new roads, and maybe even try something you never thought you'd be into. Yes, I am still sitting here trying to convince street squids to try off-road riding at least once, but that's besides the point. The only problem with life on two wheels is that it's much like a normal drug addiction. It'll drain your bank account faster than a nasty divorce and child support payments. But hey, at least you get a motorcycle out of it, right? Now, if you're planning on getting started this season, I'm sure you've already picked out what bike you're planning on starting on because you've watched so many of our yammy, noob, amazing beginner bike videos, but got some cash put away for the purchase price of the down payment and thought you're all set. Unfortunately, there's a whole bunch of other startup costs you're probably forgetting, insurance for one, but most importantly, gear, which is what we're talking about today. Unless you want to ride like a complete degenerate Jixer squid, you should be looking at a full suite of riding gear to keep you safe on the bike. Also, most MSF classes require a helmet, gloves, or some sort of long sleeve shirt, which is not motorcycle gear, and boots anyway, so you might as well have it. Luckily for you, I have assembled a list of motorcycle gear that's going to keep you safe without costing an arm and a leg and a testicle, or an ovary, depending on whatever hardware you have. Have you seen the prices on some of those ADV jackets out there? They are insane. Climb has the audacity to charge $1,600 for a jacket. Anyway, I usually say to set a budget of about $1,000 to get your first set of full complete gear, so you know it's all quality stuff that'll actually work in the event that you need it to. There's no sense in buying cheapo Amazon helmet that'll snap like a communion wafer. By the way, we sell most of this gear over on shop.yamoob.co, so if you want to pick any of it up, click the link down below, and remember, every dollar you spend is an entry to win one of our giveaway bikes. Okay, so the first thing I want to do for you today is break down some jargon you're going to encounter when you're purchasing some gear. You know, marketing people love to throw big words at you and then add $10 per syllable to the purchase price. Some of that is BS, see what I did there, and some of it is important. Let's start off with the head. You've got a few different labels that you're going to want to see and some that you don't. First off, a DOT sticker. It's meaningless. Even those dumb little cruiser helmets that look like an army helmet from 1942 are DOT approved. So for our purposes, i.e. staying alive, it's worthless. ECE is the Economic Commission for Europe, and they actually care if their motorcyclists survive, so they test things very strictly. You want to see this sticker at the very least on your helmet. Then you have SNEL and FIM, which are racing boards that have slightly different varying ideas about what makes a helmet safe. If you want a hierarchy, FIM is better than SNEL. Then you have SHARP, which you rarely see on helmets, seeing how it's functionally just a UK version of DOT with just a few more rules. An ideal helmet will have an ECE and an FIM sticker on it, but just know that if your lid comes with an ECE sticker on it, it is perfectly safe. Next up is CE, which refers to the level of crash protection in jackets, gloves, boots, pants, cod pieces, airbags, and etc. Now, some less scrupulous companies might have a kind of stitching that passes CE rating, but not the rest of the gear, but you get that one sticker anyways. What you want to see is either an EN 13595 or a PREN 17092. You're never going to remember that, so just watch the video, make sure you get all the info you need to. You want to see one of those on the CE tag to make sure it's safe. I know that's a lot of information all at once, so here's all this stock footage roll of some puppies for a few seconds and just relax. All right, you're feeling better? Okay, I hope so, because this is a script and I've got plenty of words to say. With our understanding of the key words for safe gear, let's actually find ourselves some safe gear. So if you're working with a $1,000 budget, you don't need to spend all your time trolling through closeouts. There's actually a lot of really good stuff that won't break the bank brand new. Let's start with the helmet, because it's the most important piece of gear you can spend your cash on. You will not get another brain if you mess it up. You can maybe get another arm, another knee, whatever you need, but the brain, super important. Sometimes I'll squid and go do dirt bike stuff in just a t-shirt, but 100% of the time I am on a motorcycle and I am riding, I'm wearing a helmet, and you should be too. My pick for a beginner helmet is going to be a bit odd, but bear with me. It's the Nolan N72X. Nolan is an Italian helmet maker that makes helmets for street riders all the way up to MotoGP riders. In fact, Alex Rins wears a Nolan in GP, and with the numbers of bins he had last year, you know it's been crash tested. Sorry, Rins. Good luck this year. That Suzuki's looking good. Try to qualify at the front row. Man, that first round of MotoGP cannot come soon enough. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the N72X is a dual sport helmet, which I know might seem dumb on a sport bike, but first of all, the peak is super easy to remove, and secondly, dual sport lids flow a lot more air than sport bike helmets. That means when summer comes around, you won't bake your melon like it's in a Dutch oven when you're sitting in traffic. The Nolan comes with a few removable bits and bobs, like a removable chin bar if you want that 3/4 look. It comes with a drop-down sun visor and pinlock pins, and the visor ready to accept the pinlock lens if you want to upgrade it. Of course, it has the ECE sticker that you'll want to see, and it comes in at $349. Are there cheaper helmets? Sure. But the N72X has a premium feel you don't get on helmets under $300. And we've actually put our hands on this helmet here at the shop. We've actually used it in a couple rides as well. It's a really high quality thing. Now, one piece of gear that we recommend to everyone is a Cardo. And no, it's not part of the list, but it's great to have music and the ability to talk to friends while you ride, and it's a nice accessory to the helmet we just talked about. We all know that Cardo's the best in the business when it comes to motorcycle comms, but for those of you who are feeling a little more adventurous, Cardo has options for off the bike as well with their new Pack Talk ski. Look guys, I don't ski personally, but it looks to be really fun. I'm not a cold weather kind of guy, but hey, if you want to go rip it up on the snow, go crazy. It's taken all of the bulletproof reliability of the Pack Talk Bold and built it into a comm for you aspiring Shaun White types. It's got all the same talk quality and mesh connections. If you get out of range from your buddies, you'll automatically repair when you get close. The setup is basically the same. You've got a high quality speaker, weatherproof construction, and a long lasting battery, just like the motorcycle communicator. If you're out there wishing you could listen to music and talk to your friends while you're out sliding down a mountain on pieces of wood, then the Pack Talk ski is the perfect solution. Also, I mean, what else do you have going on? It's February. You might as well learn how to ski while you wait for it to warm up. Click that link down below and check out the Pack Talk ski and all the other comms that Cardo has to offer, and a big shout out to them for sponsoring today's video. Next up are jackets. Jackets, much like helmets, can see some truly bananas price swings. Climb sells jackets north of $1,500, and some riders swear by stitching pads into old leather jackets and calling it a day. I would suggest somewhere in the middle. And luckily for you, I've got 3 choices. All of them are from Speed and Strength, and while they may have some bit odd names for their products, the gear itself is high quality. Let's start out with the United by Speed jacket. You might recognize this as the gray jacket that Spite wears when it's warm out. It's got CE level 1 shoulder, elbow, and back protectors that are standard size if you want to upgrade it down the line. The slide zones are backed with an aramid reinforcement. It's a solid choice for taller riders since the sleeves actually go down to your wrists. Fun fact, we actually received this jacket into the shop here, and Spite liked it so much that he literally just kept it and now wears it. I should probably bill him for that. If you're riding around in the summer, this jacket flows a lot of air, and it could easily be mistaken for street clothes if you want to be a moto ninja. It's also the cheapest at $150. Next up, we have the Savage 2.0. This one's got CE level 2 armor in the shoulders and elbows with the level 1 back protector, removable liner for when it's cold out, and the leather backing up to the slide zone of the arms. For reasons unknown to me, it has a concealed carry pocket, but I suppose you could use that to conceal a cell phone or a banana instead. This one's a good choice for cruiser riders and probably even some sport bike riders who don't want the typical sport cut for their riding gear. No wild colors since it's not an icon, but it does come in a flat black or brown 2-tone black leather. That one sells for $249, which is a ridiculous bargain for the features it has. Last up is the Moment of Truth jacket. Again, I know the names are ridiculous, but the jacket is actually pretty solid. This is a more traditional sport bike cut with the expansion stretch panels on the arm so it stays in place when you get into a full tuck. But like the Savage, it's got level 2 CE rated armor in the shoulders and the CE 1 in the back. It doesn't flow as much air, but it's got zipper vents to keep you cool. This one comes in at $199. One thing to keep in mind here, guys, is if you're looking at jackets, just go with a reputable brand and it will probably have you well covered. I wore Alpine Stars and Dainese for years, and I still consider them some of the 2 top brands to get. So if you can afford it, get a great jacket by Alpine Stars or Dainese. I promise you'll have great protection and you'll do just fine. Depending on which jacket you went with, you've now got anywhere between $500 and $400 left over for boots, pants, and gloves, which is more than enough to get the job done. You guys know that for years I have worn the Alpine Stars SMX boots, and I still highly recommend those, even though we don't sell them on our store. I still think you should pick one up, and I'll actually include an affiliate code down below where you can get them from us and still support us. The SMXs are still some of my favorite street boots of all time. However, if you want something a little bit cheaper, I'd recommend starting out in something like the First Gear Palisade, which we do sell. It's an ankle-length sport boot that has all the protection in the right places. The toe, heel, and ankles are all protected, and it passes the CE EN 13634 2017 rating, which means it's rated for cut, abrasion, and crush resistance. That last one is especially important in motorcycle footwear. Even lightweight sport bikes are heavy at 400-ish pounds in most cases, and you do not want that smashing your foot into a panini. It's part of the reason why we don't recommend wearing work boots on a bike. Even though you might have a steel toe, it's not busted toes you need to worry about. It'll run you $129, which is a solid price for the protection. The only problem with the Palisade is that it's very clearly a motorcycle boot, so if you're looking to fly under the radar, you'll want something more along the lines of our first gear coastal shoe. It'll look like a normal leather work boot, save for the shifter protection on top, which is a dead giveaway, but otherwise it wouldn't look out of place just about anywhere. It's got the same safety rating as the Palisade with all the same features, but it blends into a normal outfit. You can get it in black or brown, and it's $10 cheaper at $119. Either way, you're getting a solid motorcycle boot that'll keep your footsie safe when you inevitably drop your bike in a parking lot. The last thing I want to spend real time on are gloves. People often overlook gloves since they're one of the cheapest pieces of gear, thinking that they're just nice to have, but think about it like this. Your hands are your most important point of contact on your motorcycle. You're feeling the throttle, the clutch, the front brake, the bars, and more importantly through your gloves. So you don't want to cheap out and get some basic leather work glove. Luckily for you, we've got two choices. The first is a combo mesh and leather glove, which is perfect for summer riding, the EVS Asin. The palm is leather with a reinforced slider on the heel just in case you go down hand first. The rest of the glove is a combination of neoprene and mesh so you flow as much air as possible. Despite only being $54.99, it comes with a touchscreen finger so you don't have to take your glove off to change your music or adjust your map on your phone. That's a feature you still don't see on some gloves at twice the price. But if you're feeling something that's all leather, the EVS NYC glove might be up your alley. It's got the same level of protection that the Asin does, but it's perforated leather all around. For Texas summers, I would recommend the Asin, but if you're in somewhere that doesn't get to be 1,000 degrees every day, you'll be perfectly comfortable in the NYC. It's a bit more expensive, but hey, there's more cow in there for it. As I mentioned in the jackets, when it comes to boots and gloves, stick to reputable brands like Dainese and Alpine Stars. We are actually working on getting Alpine Stars on the store, more info on that later, but if you can't find them on our store, get them there. If not, feel free to get them somewhere else. Now, I specifically left between $200 and $300 for you to spend on pants. I highly recommend you purchase a pair of slide-tested pants, but I will leave that choice up to you. I always ride in a dedicated pair of motorcycle pants, but Spite, on the other hand, wears Levi's with his knees breezing in the wind. Statistically, the chances of you suffering a fatal injury to the legs are pretty low on a bike, but road rash really sucks. The choice is yours. Either take that cash and get some pants, or take it and buy some anodized leather for your bike and be a true street squid. Fact, a 2013 study suggests that chewing gum boosts concentration. Goodbye. Keep watching Amy Noob!